What's going on, everybody? Sean Daniel with Guitar Control here, and today is one of my favorite lessons because we are combining a lot of different principles that we have touched on in the past in one musical context. So if you've been dutifully following along with these videos, this should be really easy. Make sure to click the link below because I'm going to tab out everything we're doing here. It's all about combining chord voicings, arpeggios, and scales into something that is kind of like a fretboard experience that sounds kind of musical, and it's going to sound like this. So, what we have here are three different chord voicings, one arpeggio, and then one kind of scale lick type deal, all right? Really super easy, anybody can do it. Also too, you can use some of these concepts to make your own stuff, which is what it's all about. But we're gonna start with the C major chord voicing. Super easy, one of the first chords you ever learn. Ring finger, 3rd fret of the A string, middle finger, 2nd fret of the D string, open G, pointer finger, 1st fret of the B string, open E, all right? Probably didn't even need me to tell you that, but I did anyways, so thanks for sticking around. Now, all this is a triad. It means 3 different notes that are combined to make one beautiful cohesive chord, all right? C, E, and G make up a C major chord. A lot of different ways you can do that all over the guitar fretboard. That's why learning different voicings is really important. The next voicing we're gonna learn is gonna be this right here. This is an A major shaped C chord. Now what that means, A major is another one you probably learn right away. So it's the 2nd fret on the D, G, and B string. Now we can move this all the way down to the 5th fret, and that's gonna give us those notes, C, E, and G, in a different location. So one voicing, another voicing. It's the exact same chord in a different location. Has a little bit of a different tone to it, right? Now you can bar it with one finger like this. You can use it like this. Doesn't matter how you get these 3 notes down, C major chord. The chord beyond that is going to be a C major 7 chord, which looks like this. Now this is a 4-note chord, it's not a triad. We're adding one more note, C major 7, that's the 7th note, in the C major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a B, all right? So the 3rd voicing we're going to need to do this exercise looks like this. 3rd fret on the A string, ring finger 5th fret on the D string, middle finger 4th fret on the G string, pinky 5th fret on the B string. Okay? So we can do one after another. The 1st voicing, the 2nd voicing, and then the 3rd C major 7 chord, okay? As slow as you need to do it. This isn't a speed exercise, it's just about becoming aware where these different notes are, all right? So now there's a lot more C chord voicings that we can talk about, but I want to talk about an arpeggio to start linking these together, all right? An arpeggio is when you play at any of those chords, one note at a time. So like we said, there's a C, an E, and a G in a C major chord, all right? So like we talked about, the 3rd fret on the A string, A sharp, B, C is the root note of a C major chord. So what we're gonna do after we play this chord, we're gonna do this little run. It's an arpeggio. All it is, we're gonna find those notes in a different way around the neck. So we start with the C, 3rd fret on the A string. We're gonna slide it 4 frets higher to get from 3 to 7. All right, 3 plus 4 is 7, also known as a major 3rd. Math is super helpful right here. So from 3 to 7, if you use your ring finger like that, it lines up your pointer finger really nicely with the 5th fret on the D string, which is from that chord voicing we did before. That's gonna be the G note in this chord. C, E, G, and then another C, straight down, the 5th fret on the G string. So that's gonna be this little arpeggio thing that we're gonna use. Now we're actually gonna end up on the 5th fret of the A string, which is a D. It's gonna be a note that we're gonna add from a scale, which we're gonna talk about in just a second. But we're gonna go from this C major chord, and the way I'm playing it is I'm hitting the A string, the D string, and then the chord. Instead of always just strumming the whole thing, you're kind of breaking it up a little bit to make it sound a little more musical, right? So, A, D, chord. Hit the root note again, slide 4 frets higher, 5th fret on the D string, 5th fret on the G string, backwards, just the way you came, end up with your pointer finger on the 5th fret of the A string. And again, if you did it a couple times in a row, you can start building up speed. All right, now from here, we're gonna jump into the chord voicing that we used previously, the C major 7 one, okay? So, we have our first chord. We're gonna move this back 2 frets, and then we're gonna build that chord shape. But we're not gonna play it as a chord, we're gonna pick through it. Okay, so another way to arpeggiate a chord is by keeping a static chord voicing and then just picking within it. Okay, that's just going forward and backwards, which is really the same thing as, okay, but we're doing it in a static position. Arpeggios, however you want to work them, you know, there's no arpeggio police that are going to arrest you. So we're just going to go A, D, B, G, D, chord. That's going to be the pattern that is tabbed out in the clickable link below, but really play it however you want, you know what I mean? So A, D, B, G, D, chord. Maybe just isolate this one part and practice that. I'm playing it with a pick, you don't have to, you can play it fingerstyle if you want. I just think it sounds a little better with a pick, sounds cleaner maybe. Alright, so after this, we're gonna add that to what we did already. C major chord. This is all just C major stuff, really, so far. Now from here, we're gonna do this. Now where does this come from? This comes from the A minor pentatonic scale. Now you're already probably like, whoa, 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 I thought we were just doing stuff in C major. Well, every major chord has a minor pentatonic that goes along with it. It's also called the relative minor, and it's always 6 notes away from the root note, okay? So if you look at all the notes in the key of C, like we talked about, you find the 6th note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, C, D, E, F, G, A. A minor is the relative minor in the key of C. Why that is important is because the minor pentatonic shape is something that is really prevalent in a lot of different genres of music, and it's really easy to play specifically on a guitar. So the minor pentatonic, the A minor pentatonic, or the C major relative minor pentatonic, just different ways to say the exact same thing, sounding fancy, impress your friends with that, looks like this. The 5th fret is always going to be the first note of 2 throughout the entire way. So 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. One of the very first things that you learn, right? Probably C major chord and an A minor pentatonic shape are really maybe some things that you found in like different pieces of literature or whatever when you're first starting out. But we're going to take some of these notes and start sliding through from this chord voicing, all right? So now if you notice where my ring finger is right now, it's on the 5th fret of the D string, okay? In that chord voicing, that C major 7 chord voicing. Now if we go to the A minor pentatonic scale, there's that same spot, right? Doesn't matter what finger you play that with. That's where we're going to be jumping into this little riff from the minor pentatonic scale. So once we end up, we're going to take your ring finger and slide into now what I'm thinking of as being minor pentatonic. So I'm sliding to the 7th fret on the D string, going to the 5th fret on the G string, which is the next note in the pentatonic scale. I'm going to go to the 8th fret on the B string, which is also in the pentatonic scale, then backwards. 8B, 5B, 7G. Look at that tab to follow along. Really kind of like a very bluesy minor pentatonic thing. Slide, back, pinky, B, G. And then we're gonna end up on the A-shaped voicing of C major, okay? Just that 5th fret barred, or however you want to play it. Either way, it doesn't really matter, okay? So all together we have 3 chord voicings we're using, 1 major arpeggio, and then 1 little minor scale, minor pentatonic scale run, all coalescing into a beautiful, peaceful C major jam. All right, so open C major chord, A, D, chord, through the arpeggio, backwards, C major 7 chord voicing, into the minor ending on a chord voicing, okay? Now, really, this isn't about just memorizing this, like I said before. It's about being creative with whatever you want to do, you know? Maybe you can take the first part of this, and then once you get here, maybe do something different in the minor pentatonic. All of these fingers that we have kind of rooted down can slide into part of this minor pentatonic shape, which I think is always a good place to kind of maybe call home base from whatever key you're in. Let's say you want to take your pinky and slide to the 8th fret on the B string. Something like that. Whatever, you know, it's all fair game. It's just about being aware how these chord voicings, 1, 2, 3, this arpeggio that we're using to kind of connect it, and then this scale, is really covering a pretty considerable amount of the guitar neck for you, right? So, I think it's just kind of a cool musical way. You know, if you like it or if you don't like it, whatever, it's not really supposed to be a song or anything, but it's just kind of like a peaceful way to start incorporating some of these different things that we've been talking about in maybe a circular way that feels less like drilling a scale or just cycling through chord voicings over and over again, or, you know, just drilling arpeggios mindlessly. Because I always think practicing something musically is really much better, and even if it doesn't sound like a song that you know is familiar, like a lot of songs use these techniques in conjunction with each other. So hopefully you learned something, or maybe you got some ideas for something that you want to start practicing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave your feedback in the comment section below, and maybe tell us other places that you've seen examples like this, like maybe different songs that have kind of employed this kind of thing, because again, there's a million of them out there. And definitely let us know what you want to see more of, because if you want to click around on videos like this and other ones, we've got more lessons for myself, other great instructors, a lot of different stuff on the Guitar Control channel, pretty much everything you could ever want. And if there's something that you feel like you want to learn more about that we don't have in the video playlist, let us know, and we will get right on that and fulfill every guitar need and desire that you could possibly have. So thanks a lot for checking it out, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks a lot.